Hello friends, in today's episode we'll look at growing a delicious sweet corn variety called Triple Crown Hybrid. Now, corn is one vegetable that I would highly recommend that you sow directly into the soil. We are growing our corn in a raised bed here, and corn is also best grown in blocks. Instead of growing them in rows, it's better to grow them in blocks. That way you get a better chance of having the corn pollinated, which will result in much better yield. And the variety of corn that we are growing here today is the Triple Crown Hybrid. It's a fast growing corn. It says it takes 75 days to maturity. Within about 10 days you can see that the seedlings have emerged, and you must thin corn. As you can see here, we are thinning these seedlings, making sure that there's just one corn per area that we sowed the seeds. So when you sow the seeds, you can sow about 2 seeds in every planting hole, and then when the seedlings emerge, you can thin them to make sure they don't get overcrowded. So as you can see here, we are growing a large number of corn in this 4 foot by 4 foot raised beds. Now, you must work the soil very well before you plant the corn. Add a lot of manure, add a lot of compost so that the corn gets a lot of nutrition. And you can start fertilizing the corn bed once the plants emerge. And a month later, you can see that the corn plants are growing very well. And since corn is grown in the warm or the summer season, make sure that you're giving your corn a lot of water and make sure that you're growing it in full sun. You have to grow corn in full sun to get the best out of your corn plants. Now let's look at some of the insects that can cause damage to your corn plants. So what you see here is called the corn earworm, and it's a brown or rust colored caterpillar that will totally devastate your corn if you don't control it in time. So to prevent against the corn worm, you spray neem oil on the corn silks. So once the corn silks emerge, you can add a couple of tablespoons of neem oil and make sure that you drench the corn silks, and that will help you prevent damage from the corn earworm. And 3 months later in July, you can see that the corn plants have grown quite tall, and on the top part of the plant you can see the male flowers, which will be used to pollinate the corn silks, and this is why I had advised planting the corn in blocks and not in rows. So our corn is ready for harvest in July and August. Beginning July, we can start harvesting our corn cobs, and as you can see here, these cobs are quite large in size, and when you open up the corn, you can see that the kernels are very well formed. They have a light, almost pale yellow color to them, and according to the specifications of this corn, it's a very sweet and nice tasting corn. So all in all, a great looking corn. Now sometimes you might get cobs that do not have all the kernels formed. Now why does this happen? If the corn does not get pollinated correctly, this problem occurs, and I'll shortly show you how this looks like. We're opening up this corn and the silks have developed properly, but you can see that due to inadequate pollination, the corn kernels are not very well formed. It's almost as though the kernels are only formed on the bottom part of the plant, as you can see here, and this is caused by the corn not getting pollinated correctly. And to avoid this problem, just make sure that you shake your corn plants early in the morning or late afternoon so that the pollen forms and they get pollinated. And you can get a lot of corn harvested from this plant. As you can see here, very nice looking cobs, and it's a very delicious corn variety as well. Now if you have a rodent problem in your area, you're going to see a lot of damage done to your corn. As you can see here, there were some roof rats in our backyard, and they totally decimated some of the corn that was growing here. So just be aware of that. If you have rats in your backyard, make sure you control them. or you're going to get a lot less corn. And as you can see here, on a typical day, we were able to harvest a lot of corn from this plant. And you can get corn throughout the growing season from this corn variety. And I like to eat my corn roasted on the stove top. It just tastes amazing. I sometimes apply lime and salt. Let me know how you like to prepare your corn. So there we have it, folks. That was our episode on growing the triple crown hybrid corn. I would like to know from you, my YouTube subscribers and viewers, what kind of corn do you like to grow? Have you tried growing this corn variety, or do you have a special corn variety that you'd like to share? Do let us know, drop in a comment below, give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and we'll see you again soon. Happy gardening!